your plots. You have to hold your sit until I tell you the plots on the escape bite. You have to hold your, like we were talking about on the foot house, you have to hold your good foos. So when I have anticipation, like on a foos, like somebody in French ring said, well, Schutzen's easy because it's a pattern. I said, I'd much rather it never be a pattern. I'd rather them saying your plots is first, your stay second, then we do a dump. After, like I said, it's not uncommon. Like my dog Arno was 24 times Schutzen 3. Arno was like 23 times Schutzen 3. Shocks was like 25 Schutzen 3. And people say, ooh, you like to trial a lot? And I said, that's the minimum. I said, if I'm getting my 270 for my club trial, you know, for nationals, because you have to have a 270, then I'm hitting my regional event, which you have to hit regionals. Then I'm hitting my national event, like USA Nationals. And then I'm hitting AWDF or the WDC or DVG National. That's 4 in a year. In 6 years, you get 24. You know what I mean? It's like, and you're not even trying. Like, I'm doing the minimum. So I tell people that's the minimum amount if you're competing with your dog. My dog's not stupid. He knows after the group of sit is coming. So when my dog starts to anticipate, I do right turn pressure. So, and by then, my let's say I'm on step 3. Remember the 4 levels of corrections. So silent corrections number 4. So if my dog starts to drop back thinking a sit's coming, I go tick, 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 tick. I put pressure on him on a right turn. So if I come into an escape bite and my dog lays down before I say plots, I say no, tick, 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 tick. So I have to teach them not to anticipate. Does that make sense? Because they know it's coming.
Why a right turn rather than a left?
A right turn because I want him to come deeper into me.
Okay.
Now, if I have a dog that's forged and crowdy, I would make a left. Yeah, I would make a left. But mine is a right turn pressure.
I do left because I always like want to get his ass in gear and then put it in spot.
Yes, if you have a crooked foos, like the hill that I die on, I have some people put tape right here. So 50%, 25% your left pec, 15% right here. I want my dog at 15%.
Right there.
I know where your butt is. Because when they start encroaching on this, I already know what your butt's doing, and then I'm going to have a crooked sit, a crooked plots, crooked stay.
My dog, as he builds, like if I'm using food, he's perfect. And then it's like the ball comes out, and then it's a tug, and then it's like, oh,
well, then you can make left turn pressure, you know, because the straight foos, that's very, very
Because I know telling that dog no doesn't really fix anything.
But, so
has to want to be there.
What I do is in training, if the dog understands the E real well, if they start anticipating the plots, I want them to plots. I will come back and pay. It's not like I'm going to call you every time, but pretty soon I do call you every time. Their plots, I turn and I do this. Nuts. My shoulders move all the time.
They're thinking of here, right?
Well, yeah, because you see people dance a little bit in a trial. Here, I mean, they dance a little bit with their shoulders. And the day of the trial, the handler's nervous. They're doing their running plots. And they turn and their shoulders move. And you just see dog after dog breaking on the shoulders moving. So we do a lot of, I dance, and I won't do that in the trial. But if they do break the plots, I go back to the level 3 correction and I say no, and I come at them with opposite reflex. So right when they start to break, no, tick, tick, and I come at them. Tick, tick. Mm-hmm. But I only hit them twice. Tick, tick. I do a double tap because that was for the infraction of the butt kind of coming up and dancing. I need them to relax. So then I wait, and especially if I can't see their butt, say I'm 30 paces out, I'm looking at my spotter a little bit, and they nod, and I see their butt relax. Good. I want them to understand. Remember I said, what's the good definition of a bridge? A behavior should become more exaggerated. If your dog understands a bridge, the behavior actually becomes more exaggerated.
Oh, so my dogs do understand, because I know like when I say good, it's almost like too much for them, so sometimes I'll try to hold out.
Then they don't quite understand. So the good means keep doing what you're doing. The example I give, you guys have probably heard me say this, nationals with shocks, I was in a baseball field. Now, a baseball field, it's easy in a football field because you have the goalposts and everything, but in your baseball field, I mean, you have the round field, so it's kind of odd. So I was doing my send out, and thank goodness there was no long down judge. That person's picking up their dog, but he kept looking at me, so you can't, your days of mark, those are over. So I'm getting ready for my send out.
You can't mark on a send out?
No. Not in a championship. Actually, not in a club trial.
Not anywhere.
If you have a club trial
You can only
and
mark
that
up
judge
blind.
is watching the long down being picked up, you can get away with it a little
You
bit.
can't mark anywhere.
But he
For
can't.
blinds, right? Blind, you mean like mark,
Yeah.
search? Is that
Yeah,
okay?
so like when I turn for my blinds,
Yep.
my left hand, because the judge will be off my right shoulder.
Yeah.
Wuss! And I'll whisper Mark. I know he's over there. He can't see this.
Yeah.
River.
Okay, but then you put your head up. You don't.
But I want my dog staring on the send out. So anyway, in that baseball stadium, I said, Mark, and Shocks looked over here. I went, nope. He looked over here. Nope. Then he looked straight and I went, good. And you saw him like this. And I'm like, got it. I got a straight send out because he knew what good was. That is a good definition of a bridge. Like so his head lowered and I'm like, got it. I got a straight send out. But I know if he didn't understand nope and I can't mark the dog, you know, you ready, Mark? And he's looking this way. Foot out. It's not magically he's going to go straight. I already know where he's going to go. Anyway, that being said, when the rear end hits the ground, like on the sit, that's when my bridge comes good. So what Lisa and I were talking about, this is up for discussion. See if you agree with me or not. I got this from Rolf. Rolf really got me into this. No matter how slow the dog's butt is, here's the ground. Sits. Good. And I'm like, Rolf, I gotta correct that. That's driving me crazy. He said, she will learn to beat the bridge. And Rolf was right. And it just got faster. Good. 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 It just got faster and faster. I have never had success on pressure on the sit. Ever. I've seen people putting the e-collar on the top of the rear end. I've seen a sit stick. I've seen it all. And I've seen them have success. Personally, I'm not putting down those methods because I know some trainers, I won't mention their name, they do pressure the sit. Then I'm not good enough to do it. I have never been good enough to pressure sit. I can pressure your plots. I can pressure taking a step on a stay, but the sit's got to be a relaxed position. So what Lisa and I were talking about, you're tempted, and this is Rolf 101, I stole it from him, to click right when their butt hits the ground. But now the butt's tight. So he said you will start getting a hydraulic sit. And people that didn't listen to him when Rolf and I trained together, he was exactly right. You saw the sit like this. And it was real fast, except for 2 inches on a football field with grass this short. You're like, well, that's a lot of daylight. Maybe if it's tall grass, you can get away with a little bit more. Not in a stadium. So we use the bridge on the sit. And if I'm really improving it, I will have my wife come out or a spotter, somebody that knows their timing. Sits, good. And right when they say good, I say good. Even if I'm going to keep walking, good. Now, you know, like, everybody knows, like, the plots is a 10-point exercise, right? 5 for the build-up and execution of plots, 5 for the recall, front, and finish. So you got 5 and 5. So if you say this, and now the sit, 5 points on the 3. If you say this, sits, and your dog executes a perfect sit, but is looking around, you do know you're losing points there, right? They have to be staring at you the whole time. In fact, they're getting so strict. I saw it on video. My dog was on the long down at the championship, and I got a 9 out of 10. I'm like, what the heck? I watched the video because the judge said dog needs more focus. He stares at the blind the whole time. He heard bring, and he went like this and looked back to the blind. He did that twice. I'm like, geez, they're getting tight on this. I'm like, he didn't like do this. He just went like this and looked right back at the blind because I want them looking at me. Anyway, to let you know, that's how strict they're getting at the championships. Because now you're having 80 dogs that all do extremely well. So now it's gotten harder and harder and harder.
At that point.
Well, like, this is how tough it's getting. Did anybody watch the AWDF championships in America? Did you guys
I
see
watched
it?
quite a few videos.
Anyway, there were some incredible...
Wayne Singleton was there doing
Yeah.
his video.
Did you watch it?
I watched some. Yeah.
So there were some great performances. Not one dog V'd on the foos. Not one dog V'd in obedience. None. Like low SGs, like I think Ivan or Tim, it was like 91 in obedience. So no one V'd him, but not one dog V'd on the foos. I'm like, dadgum, I think they're getting too strict. I mean, it's getting stupid. Like, it's getting so out of control.
Those dogs are probably pretty good.
What's that?
They're probably pretty good dogs.
No, yeah, but not one V on the foos. I'm not talking like the whole. Tim got the highest foos and he got a low SG on his foos. I'm like, you can't get better. It's impossible. Anyway, so now they're getting really strict on looking away and everything. So that being said, on my sit, I parrot whatever my spotter says. If they say look, I say look. So sit, good, look. So I will parrot, even though my back's to them. Because you see a lot of times people will say, sit, and the dog's looking all around, and right when the handler turns, the dog is staring at him. They're like, I've been looking at you the whole time. They're like, no, you have not. So if you don't have a mirror, a spotter's a really good thing, and I parrot whatever they say. They say look, I say look. You know, because they won't look at the spotter when they say look, because the spotter doesn't, it's only a cue for me. And if I say, you know, if they say quiet, that means their butt got restless. Then I'll say quiet. And quiet's my negative command. I will tick there. Tick, tick on that. So, can she see the video on the two?